want to take a moment to tell you about my time on the Unfuck America Tour at Texas A&M, which I attended with It's Luke from the Find Out podcast, and which we discussed in great detail on the most recent episode of the Find Out podcast, which you can watch on YouTube, you can see on Substack, Apple, or Spotify. Living in a deeply red state, I have pretty thick skin when it comes to MAGA exposure, but this one, it hit different. All the photos and videos and testimonials, they cannot prepare you for how it feels to walk into a courtyard full of 3,000 teenagers on a university campus, which is where people are supposed to learn. And you witness with your own eyes and ears these kids, they're screaming for Charlie Kirk and Lara Trump. There's music pumping through the speakers, and they're frisbeeing MAGA hats by the dozens, maybe over 100, into the audience. And the kids are pulling them down. Their eyes are glazed over. They just look absolutely crazed, waiting for this malignant version of masculinity, patriotism, and frankly, humanity to be just puked into them. It was demoralizing. It took me over an hour to appreciate the physiological effect that it had on me. My energy to affect any change had been completely sapped. It felt like these people were absolutely lost. Until I spoke to a young woman who was standing in the back. She had a cross around her neck. She looked like a young Republican, but she didn't have a MAGA hat on. She wasn't frothing at the mouth. She was just smiling and listening to Charlie Kirk, and she looked hopeful. So I went over and talked to her, and I asked her, "Do you like Charlie?" And she goes, "Yeah, I love him." And I said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, I don't agree with him on everything, but I like that he has a vision for the United States." And that was it. That was the thing right there that put a little bit of spark back into my heart, because she articulated after that in this conversation that it was insane to not provide exceptions in abortion law for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. She told me how her dad died far too young a few years ago, and that she and her mom, who was a public school teacher, are struggling in the middle class, and they're concerned about economic issues. She was super nice to me. She doesn't hate me. I don't think she hates anybody, but it was clear that she was coming from a place of fear and anxiety. And people who are afraid, they seek strength through others, through leaders who share vision and confidence. A dozen conversations later, give or take, I confirmed from a black teenager who was dressed head to toe in MAGA gear, all the way up to a white boomer Republican fundamentalist Christian Texas A&M alum who denied the 2020 election. All of these people said the same version of the same thing, which is that Charlie Kirk provides information with conviction, even if we understand that that conviction is performative and disingenuous. And they believe that he wants to see a future of growth and strength for the United States, which, if you recall, were also things that you could say about Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Americans like strength, they like growth, they like forward-looking people. And those of us who are invested in politics, we know the reality of these issues. We know Democratic presidents have created 50 times more jobs than Republicans since the end of the Cold War. We know investments in the middle class, and not the fucking 1%, pay for themselves over and over and over again, to the point where you can't even calculate the impact. But we aren't saying it in a way that resonates with average American voters who are getting news from social media and who have been trained to trust entertainers and podcasters more than professors and teachers and journalists. It's shameful, but it's the state of the world. I don't think these people or these kids are irreparably broken or lost. I think they're the product of a broken information delivery system. A system to which the right has adapted far faster than the left, to the point where the system has been all but hijacked entirely. The despondency I felt after walking into that courtyard, set against the glimmers of hope I felt after connecting with these misinformed voters as humans, provided a sobering reminder of why I am trying to do what I am trying to do, why I'm speaking with you right now, why I created the Find Out podcast with a team of guys who think and believe the same kinds of things, but who all attack it in different ways, because we are determined, however possible, to rebuild the media environment so that we can provide sanity, reason, and humor for watchers and listeners. It's why I'm committed to doing more forever, and why I will not give up.